What's up everyone, I'm Chris. Welcome back to Handlebar Adventures. In today's episode, I'm gonna do a ride review of my NOBL TR35 wheel set. I'm gonna compare it directly to my previous Roval wheel set. I'll give you my riding impressions as I'm out on the trail. I'm gonna be riding with my buddy John, aka Side Hit Tsunami. He's gonna be a little bit late, so we're gonna go for a little warm-up loop and we'll catch back up with him. For reference, I'm 180 pounds geared up. I'm running 21 PSI in the front and 23 PSI in the rear on my Schwalbe Racing Ray and Racing Ralph and 29 by 2.35 inch tires in the super ground casing. Everyone runs different tire pressures, but that is what I'm running today, just for reference. Let's get into riding on the trail and I'll give you my impressions. It is an absolutely beautiful autumn day. It's about 60 degrees, sunshine, Friday after work. Doesn't get much better than this. There are quite a few leaves down on the trail, so I'm gonna be doing a bit of leaf surfing today, but still should be no problem to gather a good opinion on these wheels. So for reference, I had a set of Roval carbon wheels on the bike before. During a race, took a rather poor line choice and ended up cracking the rear wheel. It was outside of Roval's warranty program. So I either had to pay up for a new wheel from Roval with their crash replacement or buy a new wheel set. I go over all this in detail in my NOBL TR35 video. You should check that out if you're interested in buying NOBL TR35 wheels. It'll explain why I chose this wheel set over all the others in the market. Wheels have DT Swiss 240 hubs, Beam CX Ray spokes, and they are very light. They weigh in at just under 1,500 grams for the whole set, which is very light when you consider that they are about a 30 mil under width wheel set, which you would typically find on a trail bike or even an enduro bike. It's less common to see 30 mil width wheels on an XC bike, but DT Swiss and many others claim there's quite a few benefits to doing with a wider wheel set. And today we're gonna test that out. Lots of leaf surfing. Yeehaw. These wheels definitely, just initial impressions. My initial impressions on these wheels are they definitely have a more damped feel. Could be because of the extra volume, the wheel design itself. All right, we got a fun little downhill coming up here. Put the wheels to the test a little bit. Woo, slippery. Oh, there we go. Corner with no leaves on it. Oh yeah. Bike definitely feels less squirrely than it did before. More planted feeling. Yoo-hoo. And I gotta attribute that to the wider wheels. I was measuring the tire width when I built up this wheel set, and I was actually surprised to see that these NOBLs 30 mil inner width Rovals were 25 before. Same exact tires, the Schwalbe Racing Ray and Racing Ralph combo are almost, actually just over 0.11 inches larger across when built on the NOBL wheel set. Which just goes to show you what a difference that wheel width makes on your tire. So these are 235s, a bit wider than what most folks would probably run for cross-country racing, but they serve me well. I also think with the wider profile, aside from the extra width in the tire, does give it a bit more of a squarish profile, and not in a bad way. It feels like the wheels fit the tires better. Before, I would never be able to run 21 and 23 PSI without having the tire squirm all over the place. And I actually feel like I could let the pressure down some today with the leaves. They're not really generating as much grip in the corners as I normally would. So when we stop back in the truck, I might actually take an extra PSI out of the tire and go down to 20 and 22 and see how that feels. Yeah. Ah, good fun. Now, I will say that on some of these punchy climbs where it's relatively smooth, I kind of stand up, mash on the pedals, I think the Rovals felt a little bit snappier. The Rovals that I had were a very deep wheel and very stiff. Maybe a little bit less weight around the circumference of the wheel as well, making it feel like it spins up a bit faster. So maybe a little bit less zippy. But honestly, I think that is kind of to be expected. Adding more material, wider wheel. Now, one of the main benefits that is claimed with a wider wheel set is less rolling resistance over rough terrain because you can run lower tire pressure. Contrary to popular belief, less tire pressure generally rolls faster, especially over rough terrain. And that's because you spend less time going up and down every time you hit a root or a rock, and the tire sort of absorbs that energy, keeps you tracking in a straight line forward. All right, in good YouTube fashion, I got to do it. If you're enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm push this video out to more people, expand the audience, helps grow the channel. And if you're new to the channel and you like this content, I really appreciate it. You hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you along for future ventures. Hope that you're finding this video helpful. I will certainly be doing a long-term review on this wheel set after I get a bunch more miles on them. So subscribe if you want to be kept in the loop on that. Nice. Woo, these leaves are so fun to slick around in. All right, we're gonna wait up here for Tsunami to join us. We'll get the real ride started. Plenty more trail feedback to come on this wheel set. Stay tuned. All right, just got a warm-up lap in and met up with John, side hit Tsunami, and Alex. We're gonna keep going for a rip, and I'll keep giving you my feedback on the wheels. Let's go. We got John, side jib Tsunami, up in front of us, ripping down. Woo, it's dry, a little dusty. Yeehaw, getting some speed up. Hard right. Can't get over this weather, man. It's so great. 60 degrees. Oh, get it. Leaves are peaking. John's throwing them all over the place. John is up in front of us on his Stump Jumper Evo. Some big old knobbly Continental tires. And these are doing just fine. The wider wheel set definitely gives more support in these corners. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Y'all good?
I'm all good.
So I was saying the wider wheel set definitely gives more support in the corners, especially those off-camber ones. You can feel the tire just so much more stable than before. Huge difference. Oh, I'm wet now. That was deep. All right, up into Guyton. This area of the park is definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite. We've done a local laps video on this section, so if you'd like to see more of it, definitely go check that out. A little Rudy downhill here. Oh, wet brakes. Oh yeah. Overall, those roots feels much more composed, much more stable. Another fun little downhill here, a bit higher speed, still plenty of roots, some firmed up corners. Oh yeah, much more planted, little Scandi flick, tire didn't roll. On the pedals. Oh yeah, nice tight switchbacks here. Wheels feel very laterally stiff in a good way. Absolutely zero deflection, even when pressing into those corners. I mean, it wasn't like the hardest corner in the world, but that was one of the few sections without a bunch of leaves down, so I wanted to try it out. Here's another great little downhill section coming up here. Oh yeah. I definitely think the more squared off profile of the tire allows these quarter tons to really cut in a bit earlier into the lean. At least with this tire, the racing rays and racing Ralphs definitely seems to help. Oh yeah. Oh, a corner without any leaves down. Let's go. That's such a fun section there. Keeping on, keeping on. Here we go, dropping in. Lots of leaf surfing. Yeah, buddy. Ooh, there we go. Leaf surfing. Got these Schwabies biting. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Phew. Oh, back end kick down. Real tight tree. Nice. Keep going straight. Phew. Yeah, dude. All right, we got a nice steep, punchy climb. Fill it in with lots of leaves. I'll test the traction with a little bit more volume in the tire. A little slipping, not too bad. Over the roots. Oh, slippery. All right, dropping in. Yeah, they're like 6 inches deep right there. So I wouldn't say there's a huge difference in climbing with this wheel set versus the narrower Rovals. Both have plenty of grip. The main difference is really cornering. Or in any situation where you're hitting edges at an angle, that's really where the wider wheel set shines. Provides much more support, feels much more planted. That's really the biggest takeaway that I can tell you, is that the wider wheel set has made this bike feel like it has an extra 10 millimeter of travel. It's almost night and day how much more planted it feels when descending. And I really wish that we had a few more corners that weren't covered in leaves so I could really get a feel for how supported this tire is with the wider wheel set. But the couple that were not covered in leaves, and even those that were filled up with leaves, I could tell a difference. I think the 30 mil width wheels is really the way to go if you're gonna run wider cross-country tires. It just seems like the bike is just so much more planted and in control, and I'm hitting my brakes a bit less and just feel more confident on the bike. I'm gonna stop here, wait up for those guys, but yeah, that's my feedback on this wheel set. Big fan so far. Yeehaw! Fun little kicker there after the boulder roll. They just reworked this section. It's nice and easy to climb up now. Testing out the BC rated wheel set here. Oh yeah. There you go. Let's get it.
Let's go, boy.
Last descent of the day. Slap trail. See if side hit tsunami can keep up. Oh, sliding on those leaves. All right, this part's gonna be a little sketchy with all the leaves down. Woo-hoo. Get on the brakes a little earlier than usual. Yeehaw! I see you. Not too far behind.
I took a step down. Don't let him fool you.
Well, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I'm a huge fan of this wheel set. Feels much more damped, much more control, especially on off camber and cornering versus my Roval wheel set that I had before. Like I said, wider wheel set, even for cross-country purposes, does have its benefits. The trade-off is the weight. So thanks for riding along today. I hope you appreciated this video, got something out of it. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button and subscribe. Follow along for more handlebar adventures.